Hey besties, and welcome to the Produced by Nostalgia podcast, a podcast brought to you by two animation production professionals who like to talk about early 21st century media. We're your hosts with a passion for fashion, Jedi, and
MK.
Come sit with us in our quote-unquote dream house. In this episode, we will be discussing dolls. So in the first part of our episode, we're going to talk a little bit about doll history, list off some iconic dolls, and then we're going to get into marketing and how dolls personally affected us. Well, if there's nothing else, I think we can get into this episode.
Yeah, sit back and relax. Super excited. Yay! All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our nostalgia news. Number one on the docket, I want to talk about that Outkast just got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this past weekend.
Ooh, I did not know this. Also, I am unsure if I actually know more than one of their songs. I think everybody knows Hey Ya, but could you lay some more on me? Because I really don't think I know anything else.
Okay, real quick. I'm stretching so I can touch up. Okay.
Just getting ready to swing.
So it's Speaker Box and the Love Below album, with the song that you're talking about, Hey Ya, that specifically came from Andre 3000's side. So Big Boy had Speaker Box, or I may be getting that wrong, but Big Boy had Speaker Box. I'm pretty sure Andre 3000 had the Love Below. So that's where that Hey Ya comes from Andre's side.
Okay.
And then I Like the Way You Move, where I like the way you move, that comes from Big Boy's side. So they had almost like a joint album, but it was still as like Outkast and stuff, because backup vocals and backtrack.
Let's rewind a little bit. Is Outkast not just like a band? Because in my head, they were like a duo. So are they?
A duo.
Okay, so they're a duo, but they did their own separate stuff and just came together?
They did their own separate stuff. That's a particular album they did their separate stuff. But their big album, their debut album, or like their second one, made like a big thing because around that time it was the East Coast versus the West Coast. So Biggie versus Tupac, Bad Boy versus Death Row, like all that stuff. So that was like a big thing that was happening. And so like the Grammys and the award shows, like didn't recognize either one. They recognized Outkast in their album. So when Outkast went up, a lot of people booed because it was like, boo, you're not going. So they did it as like, oh, that's a cop out. So you're not going to pick the West Side or the East Side. You're going to pick the South. So Andre 3000 got on the mic and was like, just so y'all know, the South got something to say, and they did. Because they put it on for Georgia. Big Boy is from Savannah, fun fact. And Andre, I'm pretty sure, is from like Decatur.
Okay, so they are, if I'm understanding this correctly, they are to the same caliber as Biggie and Tupac. They're just the Southern version.
Pretty much. There was coming around like a ish around the same time. I think Tupac and Biggie were always like a little bit more established. But then when those two came out, it was like, oh, it was one of those think like, damn, I can't really even say an artist because I feel like most of them deserve theirs. But think of it like someone, like you've been listening to this album for like the most and you think it deserves like the award. And then this other artist who you don't know really like that comes out and be like, they got the award. So everyone was like, who the fuck is this? Like, I don't know these guys. So when they got up there, they were booed.
Oh, I don't like that energy. I mean, I understand why they were like upset, but that's not the energy.
That's not the energy to give. But
so
that it's really cool that they were in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Because other than Hey Ya, they have. Do you know? I see the players anthem. Okay, it's played a lot at weddings.
Listeners, you can't see it, but I'm just making faces because I don't.
Because it was Hey Ya, B.O.B. Which
I know who B.O.B.
Not who B.O.B. is, the song B.O.B.
My God.
Well, okay, you heard of Rosa Parks though, right? Like the song, aha, hush that fush, everybody move to the back of the bus. Right. Okay.
So what we're learning is that I don't listen to enough black music.
Okay.
I think what we need to do is you need to make a list of songs I need to listen to. Because if it's played at weddings a lot, then I probably have heard that song. It's just probably one of those songs, like the Cha-Cha Slide or something. I mean, I'm not saying it's like the Cha-Cha Slide. I'm just saying these are songs that you don't necessarily know the names of. So I'm going to go back and listen to that. But, big ups to Outkast. I'm so glad that they got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I feel like that's a really big, like, leap.
Yeah.
That's like a really good thing. So I'm really happy for them, especially since they were done dirty at, was it the Grammys?
I'm pretty sure it was the Grammys or some
The
other
Grammys.
award. I could be wrong, but I think it was. Like they were going back and forth on who had like what award, and they went up there and they were like, boo, get them on stage. And it was like, well, damn, like ain't nobody clap. I feel like that's as worse as, that's about the same to me. They booed Whitney Houston.
What?
When she was
I just yelled into the mic. I'm so sorry, everyone.
They booed, oh my gosh, what was her song? It was the How Will I Know? They booed that one because, they were like, boo, she sucks.
Yo, okay, even as someone who doesn't listen to a lot of black music, Whitney is like, she's classic.
Yeah, they
anyway.
booed a lot of people. Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to be like that, but just the black community, do they just like to boo people?
They just like to boo people because I was
like,
it's also I blame the Apollo, but we can get more on that later.
I think let's move on. You got any other nostalgic news?
A Different World is getting a sequel series, and I'm super excited. For those who don't know, A Different World was a spinoff of the Cosby Show. While we do not support that man, A Different World is a great show. It has been on record to but the reason why a lot of kids growing up went to historical black colleges. It is the reason why I wanted to go to college myself. While I did not go to a historical black college, I did just love wanting to be a part of that like era and stuff like that. So it was very cool. Super excited for it. It's going to take place in starring Dwayne Wayne and Whitley Gilbert's child. So that's really cool. And this is maybe like 20-30 years after the series ended. So this is really cool to see. And then this is just more black voices. So I'm super excited to see that.
Okay, I might have to actually tune in. I've never seen A Different World, the original, but I've seen The Cosby Show. And again, we do not support that man. But that's one of the shows that I did watch growing up because my parents also watched it growing up. I paused because I actually don't really know when they were watching it. But I watched that show. I didn't watch the spinoff. So do you think I'm going to need to watch the original of A Different World to understand the reboot, or should I just go in blind?
Knowing today's stuff and knowing how reboots are made, they're probably going to do a couple of fan service. Like, remember that one time in that one episode? And it'll be better if you like understand it, but also knowing them, they'll probably just give an intro and be like, the basics that you need to know is that we used to go to this school and now our daughter goes to this school, and it'll be like, oh, that's like a cute little moment that happened. I wouldn't be surprised if the first season is just fan service to be like, hey guys, remember those good times that we did this? Let's bring it back again.
There kind of is a formula for a reboot show, so I might just go in blind and see if I can hop on the train as it's moving.
Yeah. There's also news that we want to cover with Jetta. You can talk a little bit on this, but Hello Kitty is getting a movie.
Yes. See, this is great news for me. I am a Sanrio girly. I'm only half ashamed to admit that because Sanrio has some history, but I'm sorry, I just love cute shit. They're just so cute. But anyway, for the Hello Kitty movie, it's going to be released, I think, in July of 2028, July 1st, 2028, if I'm looking at my notes. So far, there haven't been any plot details released, but it is being released by Warner Bros. I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest. I think the movie's going to be fine, but I couldn't tell you if I think it's going to be good or not. I'm not even sure what the demographic is going to be. Like, is it going to be a kid's movie, or is it going to be kind of like Barbie-esque, where it's like, we're taking it into the real world somehow, or like, I don't know if it'll be targeted maybe towards older teens or young adults. I think my money is on it being kind of kid-centered. Maybe it'll be like family, but Hello Kitty kind of transcends age. It's kind of something that a lot of demographics participate in, the like trinkets and decorations and stuff. They've been around since the 70s, so like multiple generations have been fans of Hello Kitty.
I agree. I hope it's going the animated route.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think it is a classic family-esque movie. I feel like kids were still like intrigued by it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'll have like a deep thought message or anything, just because
I doubt it.
That's not what Hello Kitty is. This, for me, I know she probably had other shows, but this would also be my first time hearing her talk, really. So
yeah,
I'm very curious on what they do if she does.
Yeah, for everyone who doesn't know, Hello Kitty technically isn't a cat; she's a little girl. So
Allegedly.
Maybe they'll play into that.
I don't believe
Allegedly.
I don't believe in that.
Maybe it's a suit.
No, I don't. She's Hello Kitty.
You know what's really funny? I saw this on social media, I think literally yesterday. So Hello Kitty has a quote unquote boyfriend. I say quote unquote because I'm actually not sure if it's her boyfriend or not. And his name is Dear Daniel. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in his Wikipedia or just on some random website. He's also listed as not being a cat, but as a little girl. And I'm like, wait, what? So they're both little girls? Which I just thought was funny because he's Dear Daniel. He's supposed to be her boyfriend. So, I mean, I don't judge. If that's a little girl, go for it.
Go for it. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like someone's trying to gaslight me because I was like, I don't believe that Hello Kitty.
I see through your lies, Japan. I see through your lies. I know what you guys did.
I know what you guys did.
And that actually reminds me, in the Sanrio verse of things, the Bratz Sanrio doll collaboration. I think this came out last month in September. And at first, people were throwing a bit of a hissy fit because actually, let me run it back. So there was a collaboration announced between Sanrio and Bratz dolls. And so when they announced it, they were missing a member. They only had 3 of them, which was messed up because the one they left out was Sasha. And Sasha's my girl. She's the unambiguously black doll. And I would just like to say that as of this week, they finally got their shit together and they released the Sasha doll. And it is probably the best looking one out of the bunch. Totally expected.
For sure. Sorry, I was making sure if you could hear my background or not.
I was like, oh no, she's not feeling the hype. She's not as hyped as I am about Sasha getting her doll.
No, I am hyped about Sasha getting her doll. It is unfortunate that I had to wait this late. I was also very mad that, like, the Bratz tried to gaslight us and being like, God forbid if a girl Sasha be late. She's a fucking doll, y'all. Why is she not with the rest of them? It's 4 of them.
I was irate. I was upset because as a black Sanrio girly, I'm like, this was supposed to be for me, and you fucking ruined it. Sorry, I'm getting emotional about it because I don't play about my Sanrio and I don't play about my black dolls. And you know what? That actually reminds me about today's episode topic. So should we just get into it?
Let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's talk about some dolls.
Woohoo!
So for this segment, we're going to get more into the marketing of dolls because I know all of you have seen commercials on dolls. You've probably seen movies, TV shows, web shows. Heck, you probably even played computer games featuring these fashion dolls. So
I know I did.
Yeah, I spent so many hours on like Barbie.com growing up. Oh gosh. But you know, let's start off. Let's start big and work our way to smaller. So I have for the first topic is dolls on the big screen. I'm trying to think what is like. I feel like the biggest, most recent doll movie is definitely the Barbie movie that came out in 2023, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not the first of its kind. I think there are several doll movies out. The other ones that come to mind are like the Bratz movie. No idea what year that came out in. 7? Yeah, you're a fan of that movie. You want to talk a little bit about the Bratz movie?
I think the Bratz movie was very big for the times. I think because this was even before Barbie had their live action.
Yeah.
So it was really big. It was really cool. So I'm gonna say what was done right and what was done wrong. Mm-hmm. What was done right was they were represented in, their culture as well. A lot of people want to go back and forth that like what nationality is Yasmin, or ethnicity, and yes, she is like Hispanic Latino. So it was like, okay, that was beautiful there.
Oh yeah, Sasha was like, okay, in my head, because I don't know if I actually watched the whole thing when I was a kid, but as an adult looking back, I'm like, Sasha is fully a black girl. Why is she mixed? Like, in my head, the person they casted for Yasmin the person they casted for Sasha should have been Yasmin. And I don't know, the other girl, I guess we would have done away with her. The one who actually played Yasmin.
Well, I will say, because Sasha was played by Logan Browning, she is known for being mixed. Yes, I believe she's mixed in her DNA or whatever. She's mixed.
I believe she's mixed in her
DNA. I was like, I don't know why.
That was a really fun way to say it, but yes.
So she's mixed. But in the movie, she's fully black. So it was like very interesting. Both of her parents are fully black.
Yeah.
Now that is a concept that has happened before. I know Zendaya had fully black parents. most of the time, but it was like, oh, representative of that. I was like, that's not representative of Logan Brown. I will say also too, I depicted Sasha as always as a dark skinned woman, and so playing by a light skinned woman is very like, but I will say they also did play around with Sasha's coloring before, because in the animated show, in the 2D style, she was more on the light skin side, and it was like, this don't really feel right.
This don't feel right. For me, Sasha's always been an unambiguous black girl, like in the doll lines. I haven't seen the 2D show, but I wouldn't be surprised. They always be lightening our skin.
They do. So Sasha was always, but like you said, unapologetically like black. So I was like, okay, she was always black in that sense. So I was like, where they went wrong was that, where they also went wrong, still one of my favorite funny scenes to do. So there's the cheerleading scene with Sasha where she's like dancing and she's doing a cheerleader. She does a flip. The actor that they had, the stunt actor that they had to do the flip was a white thick girl, and everyone was like, that's not Sasha. And that shit is hilarious. And it was like, now wait a minute. And it became very apparent like in the later years, but I was like, I don't remember it being like this. So I was at the
low budget.
Exactly.
But couldn't they have founded like a gymnast or something who was at least biracial? I'm screaming.
Something like, come on now.
Imagine if she'd been fully black. That would have been hilarious. Can you imagine? Like she does a flip, she becomes dark skinned for a second, and then she reverts back.
I'm like, oh, y'all say we are not gonna fix this in post. But I think it was very cool seeing, like I said, the girls on the screen. Also, the girls of that time was kind of representative. The woman who played Jade was in Pretty Little Liars. Logan Browning like had her like coming up. So I was like, okay, this makes sense to have them. They had less big names. That's why I was like, it was more low budget. And it was just like your regular teen movie. It honestly could have been like a direct-to-DVD type feel to it.
Wait, was it not? I thought it was direct-to-DVD.
No, it was in theaters.
Oh, that actually explains a lot. Because that movie flopped, didn't it?
It did. That's why when Barbie came out, they was like, oh, there should be a Bratz movie. And they were like, no, there was already a Bratz movie. Yes, but I think with a higher budget and a more fleshed out story, we could get the actual Bratz. Because I will say, they didn't really hone in on the fashion part, which I feel like is a big thing when it comes to trying to adapt these like girl-centered shows or girl-centered like dolls or devices into like live action stuff. Because even with mentioning like the Winx Club, where they tried to switch to live action and like their clothes wasn't like as pretty, as bright, as bright.
They were like drab and dark because they were going this like darker route, and I'm like, this is not Winx Club. Like Winx Club is supposed to be full of whimsy and like miniskirts and sparkles. What am I looking at?
Exactly. And it was also noted that like Jade was really who had the passion for fashion. Everyone else just like, you know, like wore clothes that like Jade wore and stuff. When I was like, well, no, it was that like all of them like were very much into fashion. So I wish
that was like what made them friends, was like the fashion. That was their like core thing as a quartet.
Yes, and in the movie it was already established they broke up because they had their own like different things in their different cliques, but then they came together. I think the music from there is really cute. Hot take, I do not like Gratitude. That's the song at the end. Because it switches the moment, it switches the beat, and I said, we are everywhere. We do not have one consistent thing. But
my goodness,
it is a good movie.
I remember, you made me watch the film because I had never seen the whole thing, and I was just, during that Gratitude scene, I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Why do you guys like this film?
It is not too much on the film. It is good. It is very nostalgic film.
It's kitschy.
Yeah,
it's like
it's have fun. Kooky. Like I said, I just think the music is like wrap this up.
I didn't need to see this performance. I didn't need to see this dance. I can't believe this is the climax of this film. I can't believe you guys didn't they win? Spoiler, didn't they win that talent show with that song? Oh, it was a tie. Oh my god, they had Chelsea Staub. Chelsea Staub played like the bully character.
Yeah.
She also had a song, right?
You know, it's all about me. Beautiful.
Yeah. They should have just given it to her. I don't even remember the song, but I guess that's a blessing. If I don't remember it, that means I didn't hate it.
I think the music for it was like really good. Music was really good. I like Chelsea's music. I didn't like Gratitude personally. I think it was just a long song. I think they didn't really have an idea how they wanted to interject it in. I also think they tried to reheat Bratz nachos personally.
I'm screaming. Wait, the Bratz movie tried to reheat Bratz nachos?
I'm sorry, not the Bratz. The Cheetah Girls.
Oh, yeah, I definitely got like Cheetah Girls vibes, but it was just so watered down.
Yeah. That's how I personally feel about it. So I think we can highlight but that concept. But I want to say what Bratz got right again was the sisterhood and the friendship and the dynamic between there. I just wish they more honed on the fashion and the actual like physical depiction of them. But I will say, Barbie was excellently executed because they did the concept of like, oh, she is a doll and she knows she's a doll, and getting to like that and like how does that go about and what is she more of and like the like what's like not a perfect day. I thought the Barbie movie was really fun.
Yeah. I feel like when the movie came out, people were really singing its praises as if it was the like most feminist piece of media that they'd ever seen, which I'm like, it's definitely not unfeminist, but this is like feminism 101, which is still, I appreciate it. I'm not gonna knock it. I'm not gonna say it didn't do a good job with what it had, but we could go a little deeper. I will admit, I really did like America Ferrera's speech about like women having to be everything at the same time. I'm like, yeah, I feel that. I did also like the concept of just them living in their own Barbie universe, their own Barbie doll universe, and then coming to the real world. It feels really imaginative. It definitely humanizes Barbie in a way that I personally don't think I've ever seen her as. I mean, Barbie is iconic. Barbie has been around for a really long time. Barbie has so many franchises, so many, like I said earlier, so many films, so many different spin-offs. But to me, she's never felt like a real person. She's just kind of, I guess, like a mascot almost, like an icon. She's kind of like Mickey Mouse to me. But I feel like this movie really humanized her, which I think that's what the people wanted, and it did a really good job.
I agree. I think what Barbie got right, I think like you said, it does talk about feminism, which I thought was really good, but it was at a surface level. Of course, I don't think you can really go into that deep with like when it comes to Barbie and like the kids and the movie and stuff. But I did think it was a little overhyped with the it's so groundbreaking. So well, this is the basis if you like I don't know look this is the basis if you just read me and my friends' text messages. Like, you get what I'm saying? I was like, it was very surface level of that. And also, I always think the concept of feminism is fine, but a lot of times Black women of color is executed from that. So I was like, I feel like that's a deeper thing that needs to be solved. So, and Barbie didn't exactly mention that, so that's the whole thing with itself. Personally, but I think from its regular 101 stance, it did a good job. And the marketing,
it did a real job. The marketing ate down.
The marketing,
I did also like that they had different kinds of Barbies. Even though they didn't really go into the intersectionalities of, like, feminism, we did at least see Barbies that weren't just cookie cutter, like, white women with blonde hair. Yeah. Oh, that would have been painful for me to get through if that was the entire movie, just a bunch of blonde. No hate to blonde women. I'm just saying that's not who I want to see, like, just splattered across the screen. I'm glad that they had at least a little bit of diversity in terms of casting. They had a plus-size actress. They had, other people. I liked the optics of the film.
Yes. A lot of people was like from different countries. They had Issa Rae as President Barbie, and that was beautiful.
Definitely. I really liked that touch. It was really funny.
So it's I think those two are like, again, Bratz Barbies. That's the most one we talk about. Those two movies are great. I think both show girlhood and what does that look like of that particular time. I do think it would be cool to see a Bratz movie remade.
They need to redeem themselves.
Just in a different light. I wouldn't say redeem like it was bad. I don't think the Bratz movie was bad. I just think we could have added more. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna agree to disagree because I watched it with you recently, and I don't think it's the worst film to ever come out. But it's just for me, it was just a little boring. And again, it didn't have the fashion that I wanted. The girls, the actresses, they did a great job. None of them were like particularly bad, but they were doing the best they could with that script. I think it could use a little bit more love. That's how I'm gonna end that.
Yes, because not too much on my girls. I still think it was it's a fun watch, and my nostalgia feel is probably like bringing it over. But I don't think it's a bad film. Because I laugh at it all the time. Me and my friend Chama just like love that movie. So I'm like, no, I'm watching this shit.
It's definitely a fun watch. Even that scene again. You don't have a dad or a bank account. What a wild thing to say.
Like, and then what Dylan one of the characters in the movie is deaf, and
Yeah.
he bumped into Yasmin, and she was like, "Are you blind?" He was like, "No, but I'm deaf." She was like, "You don't look deaf. You don't look stupid." And I said, "Period."
Yeah, it's one of those 2000s movies that you watch if you want to have a laugh. It's not gonna teach you anything. It's not gonna change your life, but you're definitely gonna enjoy watching it if you give it the old college try. Unlike me, I came into it and I was like, oh, I don't know, guys.
Sometimes a movie is just a movie just to have fun, and that's exactly what Bratz is. It's just a fun movie. It's not The Godfather, but it's hilarious. Barbie reference.
Barbie as the Godfather.
But I think both movies, did like pretty well and stuff for what they had. Going that even said, Polly Pocket is supposed to be getting a movie, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. I would have to look it up because I haven't really heard anything since they announced it. I think they announced it right after Barbie. Like, I don't know if it stopped.
Which made
like after it stopped airing, so they're like, I guess trying to tease it to us, but I haven't heard anything since.
Which made me be like, guys, I don't think the concept was take these toys and now make everything a movie. I think the concept was when you put money into marketing, when you put money into the celebs, when you put money into a good story, see how well it's like can become and how people can love it.
Yeah. And also if you lean into nostalgia, because nostalgia does sell, but you have to like have a soul in order for it to really succeed. Like the marketing has to have some heart to it.
Agree. So yeah, but with the marketing and stuff, I think Barbie did a real good job with the marketing for the Barbie movie. The Bratz movie, not so much. I don't remember it being marketed like everywhere, which is the reason why I feel like also it didn't do well.
Yeah, nobody knew about it.
Yeah, no, like hardly anyone knew about it. And what's the toy movie? You can add the Lego movies because they're toys, they're dolls as well. I think they get really good marketing for that. I love the Lego movie. It's very fun, very cheeky, fun. A fun fact that the Barbie movie and the Lego movie have Will Ferrell in common, so that's really cool.
Love Will Ferrell.
It does. Yeah, but that's my take with the marketing. How do you feel about the marketing on the big screen, Jedi?
Marketing on the big screen, like I said, I think it needs to have heart. It needs to have some soul. I feel like it also needs to pay respect to the what's the word? The properties that they are putting onto the big screen, because everyone can tell when you're just doing something as a cash grab. Like, I'm not gonna front and say that movies aren't made to make money, but you can tell when a movie like actually respects the source material or respects the history behind the franchise that they are putting on the screen. And I feel like that makes all the difference. And ultimately, like, for dolls, for little girls in general, a lot of the stuff that is marketed towards us, it's marketed towards us, and it feels like society demonizes us for liking it at the same time. So it's like, we spend all this money, we buy these toys for little girls, and little girls are into this stuff, and this is like broader conversation about like what girls are into. And like, if I watch a movie that has like Barbie in it and it doesn't respect Barbie, like, I'm not gonna like it. And if I also like watch a movie and it feels half-assed or like doesn't have as much care as I think it should, because like nostalgia is a really powerful force. So I want there to be respect shown to the stuff that's being marketed to me. Shows respect to girls in general, respect to what girls are capable of, what they like, and doesn't demonize them for liking things, So the marketing, I think it goes a long way. It just needs to have heart and soul and respect, and it needs to uplift things for what they are, just like important things in people's lives.
Agree. No, dolls are a very essential thing, and then the marketing definitely has to do with that. And then we also want to talk about dolls on a small screen as well.
Yeah. So if we take it away from movies and we take it to TV screens, there are a lot of properties out there that are based off of dolls. The one that comes to mind for me, like top of mind, is like the Monster High dolls, because we were talking about them earlier. Like they have they had a TV show, an animated TV show on Nickelodeon. I don't know if it's still airing, but I think it had a couple seasons. Yeah, and from there was also, Ever After High. They had a time on Netflix. I think Monster High also was on Netflix.
Yes, Monster High was also on Netflix, same time as Ever After High. They both were online internet stuff, and then they both released kind of like episodes, which honestly I think was more of kind of fleshed out. They're just shorts. Because they were very quick, and they were on Netflix, and they were all on Netflix for a period of time, and that was a big thing. You also know that earlier there was an Ever After High versus Descendants. Such that was going on. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so there was this whole thing. So after Ever High came out, Descendants was announced, and it kind of had a very similar concept. So Ever After High, these are the children of like fairy tale characters. So, daughter of Snow White, daughter of Cinderella, daughter of the evil queen. But then you had Descendants come along, and they're like, yeah, we're also the children of fairy tales, but we're more on the like evil side. I mean, they both kind of centered the daughter of the evil queen, which I thought was really interesting. And I think for Ever After High, they were more going of the route of like, I don't need to follow my parents' story. I can write my own story. And then Descendants, they were, correct me if I'm wrong, but they were like evil but like, I think the good guys were like, let's give them a chance, and invited them to their school. And they were there mostly to like fuck shit up, but then they decided to have a change of heart. So
Yes.
at the bare bones, they were telling different stories, but since they were so similar, people were gonna compare them. And a lot of people have speculated that because of Disney being so close to Ever After High's concept, that they shut that shit down. Like, that's why those dolls went out of production, why the web series also ended. Like, Descendants, since they were, the big kids on campus, they just did away with it. I don't know if that's true, but I've definitely heard mutterings about that, because it was relatively close in time. And then Ever After High, from what I understood, was pretty popular, but you never know. The mouse, they have push and sway.
Okay, because not a creature was stirring until that mouse came. So
Mhm.
it's a big thing there. I think the dolls on the small screen is very important. We mentioned TV series. You mentioned the web series, who was like a big thing.
Mhm.
I remember specifically with at least with Monster High, because I think that's mostly the web series. I remember
Mhm.
whenever they would release an episode with a new character, they would have like a little information about them, which I thought
Mhm.
was really cool. So same thing with Ever After High.
Yeah.
Now let's to the meat into it. The Barbie movies. Do you have a favorite Barbie direct-to-DVD movie?
Yeah, there's so many direct to DVD properties based off of dolls. Do I have a favorite one? I'm gonna say Princess and the Pauper, which is a classic one, and I also think it was the first one that was a musical.
A
There were a couple of
temporary
them.
setback.
I'm sorry, what? Are you
You don't
quoting
know
it?
that sound? Yeah.
I had to think about it. I haven't thought about that film in a while. And for me, I mostly was focusing on the music. That one song where they sing that they're just like each other. I'm like, this is some bullshit. What are you talking about? You're a princess and you're indebted for the rest of your life. Like, I understand what they were saying about like duty comes first. You need to do what you can, for your parents in the absence of your parents. Like, I understand deep down that, yeah, they are conceptually the same, but in practice, especially as like an older kid, I was like, this is silly, but
Yeah.
it's about.
It's a bop. I love a Princess and the Pauper story, so that's probably up there as my one. I actually just watched it like recently, so I was like, oh, this is fun.
Are you
Fun
saying we
fact,
should have a marathon of all the Barbie movies?
I think so. Martin Short,
Yeah.
who voices the villain in that movie, forgot that he even did the movie, because someone was like, "Oh, I love when you," because it was trending again on TikTok. And they're like, "I love when you did this." He was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" He does not remember that role, which I think is very funny, because to us, it's his most iconic.
Oh shoot, I don't even have like Martin Short's face in my head. I don't know who that actor is. I gotta look them up. I probably do.
Have you seen Only Murders in the Building?
I've seen commercials of it.
Yeah, he's one of the men.
He's the one that's not the guy from Cheaper by the Dozen.
Yes.
I know his name, but I can't remember what it is.
Oh, good, all good.
Oh god.
It's banking on me now, but I know who he is. But yes, so that was always really cool. I love Barbie Swan Princess. That was a great movie to me.
Ooh.
So I watch more Bratz movies, if I'm being honest, than Barbie movies, because I love the 2D. What was it, starring and styling? That was a big thing in the Bratz. That was their 2D film. And then it went to computer animation. I love their like diamond. What was it called? Like the diamond.
Sparkling Diamond. I remember they also had like Rock Angels. The thing is, I don't actually know if I've watched a lot of the Bratz ones, because the reason I've seen so many of the Barbie ones is because they had them at the public library. Yeah, but the Bratz ones, I don't think I ever saw them at the library.
Okay, yeah, there were Rock Angels. There was Genie Magic.
Ooh, yeah, I've heard of all of these. Yeah.
The Pixies. They also had Bratz Kids,
Ooh,
which I got to
I
give
think
a
I've
shout out
seen
to.
that one. I've seen that one. Ooh,
Mhm.
have you seen the Bratz Babies one? I
Oh
think I've also
yeah,
seen that one.
I love the Bratz Babies.
Bratz
Because then there was
Babies.
one where they were specifically fairy tale.
Oh, I haven't seen that one, but I remember wanting to watch it.
Yes, I
So we
think
will also
yeah.
be having a marathon of Bratz movies. Writing that
Hmm.
down, writing that down.
Yeah, yeah. I think the Bratz kids and the Bratz babies was like a really cool concept because like yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're styling and we so cute and little, and it's like I love them. Yeah, I think my favorite was the starring and styling because that was a 2D one, and it was Rock Angels.
Mm-hmm. I really liked how for all of these like movies and TV shows, they would release like a doll inclusion. No, that's not the word. But they would have another line. They would have a line of dolls that basically went with the film or the TV show or special or whatever. I
Hmm.
really like that. I really wanted those Rock Angels dolls. They look so cool.
They did.
And I also wanted to see the movie. I feel like I've seen parts of that movie, but I definitely have not seen the whole thing.
It's those are my especially like childhood growing up. Like I love those Bratz movies.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Monster High movies as well.
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple of 2D, and they went to the computer
Yeah.
animated route as well, which
I
was
remember
more
Boo
embedded in my
York.
mind.
I remember Boo York. I think that one was CG, right?
Yeah, and that was a musical. I love Boo York.
What?
Yeah, it
Oh,
was a full musical.
I think I've never seen any of the direct to DVDs of Monster High. I definitely have seen like episodes of the web show and their music videos, but the DVDs, I don't think I've seen any. I think I was too old.
Mm,
Or like it was,
yeah,
there was a point in our childhood where like DVDs kind of went out of style, so I was just wasn't watching things on DVD. I was watching them online, but if they didn't have the full movie like online, I
yeah.
was
I
content with
say
the web
direct
shows.
to DVD, but it was most just like direct to streaming. Like that's what I
Yeah.
mean by that. But yeah, I would say DVD too. But that's what I mostly watch. I was on a little bit of the older side, but because my younger sister also liked them and I liked them in the
Hmm.
later half of my years, I was like, I am also equally going to watch this. So yeah, we love Monster High. And we were very like, what the hell is this when the Gen 3 came out, and we're like, this is not my
That's not
Monster
my
High.
Monster High. Respectfully,
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
but that's not my Monster High.
Oh, not my
Oh,
Monster High.
talking about web
So
shows, do you remember Barbie in the Dream House on YouTube? I don't know if it's
yes,
still going.
I think
And
it is.
they might have also been on streaming.
I believe so. They were on streaming and Barbie in the Dream House, and that also kind of blew up her later half. At least I feel like because it was doing really well. They also kind of remade. They actually just released the Barbie show earlier this year.
Oh, they did?
Yes, because so if you don't know, there are two Barbies, Malibu and Brooklyn. So Malibu is our
What?
classic Barbie that we know is blonde, blue eyed. She's like the cool like girl, and then there's Brooklyn, who's black with braids, and they're best friends, and their both name is Barbie.
What? Oh,
Hmm.
so Mattel was like, we're gonna right our wrongs. We're gonna make a full black Barbie.
They're like, here y'all go. And I think they had a couple of specials actually, I think, with both of them. So I think that's the new line in age. It's like, yeah, Barbie Brooklyn Roberts and Barbie is Barbie Malibu Roberts. And so yeah, they're like hand in hand, they're like best friends. This was introduced 2021. Yep, yep, yep.
Yo,
Mm-hmm.
listeners, I did not know any of this. My jaw's on the floor. I didn't know that there was like a legit black Barbie.
Yep, yep. And then I think her made her first appearance in the Barbie's Dream World. It's my version. Yeah, I would say it's really cool. Because I'm trying to think what else. What was the name of their show that came out? There's like Barbie and Barbie Double Fun, Barbie and the Barbie Show, Barbie It Takes Two, Barbie's Big Life in the City, and Barbie A Touch of Magic. It was like she appeared in like mostly, and it was the concept is that they are both Barbie.
Okay, that's really interesting, and I actually kind of like that.
It is really fun, especially in both. Like they are equal level and always seen together. And it's like me and my best friend Barbie. And other like characters are still, I believe, there, like Skipper and all that stuff. But introducing like basically Black Barbie is like really cool, and it's equal level of like, what's your favorite? Oh, Barbie. It almost gave that like if you like The Little Mermaid, you can like both Halle Berry's version and the original version.
The classic, yeah. Honestly, there's enough space in this world. Why can't we just spread the love?
Exactly.
Quite interesting. So I have not been keeping up on my doll media, but maybe I should rectify that.
It's really fun. It's really cool.
Especially if they're expanding on their diversity. Let's go! We've come a long way from the, is this black doll ugly experiment.
Yeah.
That was a terrible way to call it, but I couldn't remember the name of the experiment.
It was just called the doll experiment.
The doll experiment. So I made it worse.
It's alright. But yeah, that's a very interesting concept now that they have now. So I think that's the version that they're going with, is like Barbie and her friend Barbie and their magical adventures together.
Oh, I really like that, actually. I will be looking into this. And going back to the marketing of things, I feel like with, dolls on the big screen, I feel like they kind of are paying homage to dolls, but with the small screen, these are basically just extended commercials almost. It's kind of just like building out the world and having just more reasons to make more of the franchise, to be honest. And so I feel like they don't need as much, historical work or like to make it a whole big thing. They just need to make things that make sense within the context of the dolls. And since dolls are kind of make-believe, you can kind of go wherever you want with that. And I love that. I love how aspirational these shows can be and how they go on their little adventures. It's like taking the play and just putting it on screen. So like the little play like scenes that you do with your siblings or with your friends, but like now it's on the screen, so you kind of feel like, oh, this is like valid, and like my Barbie really can do anything, and I can imagine her in any way. And not just Barbie, for like all dolls. And like having them have their own extended universe, I think it also breeds fandom. Like there are a lot of fandoms out there for dolls, and there are people who are doing that research, and they're like, actually, this Barbie actually came from such and such TV show, episode, whatever. Like, right. I think it's really funny.
I do too.
It's better for community building. Oh yes, that I think is the point that I want to make.
I was saying there was also a couple of games. I think
yes,
Flash games and everything that was really cool. There were a couple.
Yes, now we're on Dolls Online.
A social for doing like fashion games, basically.
Yes.
Funny enough, fun fact, and we can get into this into our next episode. Wink, wink, hint, hint. About a Switch.
Ooh.
And
did when?
A few weeks ago.
Where was I? I did not know this.
The reason why I bought a Switch, because you asked, because I saw that Bratz had a Nintendo Switch game, and I was like, well, I must get this. And it's funny, I was talking to a coworker, and I was like, yeah, I really want this game, and that's why I bought the Switch. And we looked it up, and he was like, oh, well, Chelsea from blah, blah, blah says that this game sucks. And I was like, well, Chelsea's a bitch. Like, what? I don't care. I'm on this Bratz game. Like, I brought this Nintendo Switch because I solely wanted to play this Bratz game.
Dare you try to tread on my fun?
Exactly. I bought a used
off with your head.
Exactly. I bought a used one, so the person who gave me the thing said, like, oh, and this comes with 2 games. I was like, I kind of don't give a fuck. I'm only going to be playing the Bratz game.
Girl, give me that game then. I don't have a full Switch. You should give me those games. I don't have a full Switch, but I have a Switch Lite. If it works, I'm gonna play them.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna play the other stuff. Question for you, because I just thought about this. I had a Bratz doll, but I had the Bratz head where you have like the hair.
Yeah.
Well, maybe this is a trauma response. Did you ever hit
your
doll?
What?
No.
Okay.
You brush your doll hair and she keep moving, so you pop her and be like, stop moving. Right. I'm gonna go through that in therapy. But that's, when I said this to other people, they would be like, yeah, I used to hit the fuck out my dog.
Maybe. I don't know how to respond. Right? We listen and we don't judge.
You know what it is? It stems from when you get your hair done by your grandma or your mom or whatever, and you move and it's like, stop moving, I'm gonna pop you. So when you're playing with your baby doll, you brush your hair and
No, I understand. Moving. I understand the context. I think I was one of those weird kids who had a lot of pride, so I didn't move a lot. It hurt when my hair was done, but I didn't move a lot. I would just try to hold it in and like hold in my pain. And I think when I was younger, I would cry a little bit. Like tears would come, but then they'd be like, "Stop crying. It's not that bad. Don't you want to be beautiful?" And so then I would just suck it up. And so I think my trauma is that I'm not good with my emotions. Not the I wasn't really being threatened with violence. But yeah, this is the Black experience.
Well, Cute Pretty Hurts by Beyonce.
Yeah. But
that was my experience, and I'm pretty sure some other people also agree with it. But I used to hit the shit out my baby doll.
Oh shit. Not to beat the shit out of, oh gosh. Oh good. But I will say I do have the trauma of like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of black girls, like going back to the doll experiment, they have not a complex, but like society, I don't know how to talk about this. This is like really tough, but like, I feel like a lot of black girls don't feel pretty. And like that experiment really showcases that. And like even the way that dolls are marketed and like what dolls are being excluded from collabs and what dolls, aren't actually Barbies and that only are becoming Barbies now. Like it feels like it's always the black dolls. And not to say that there aren't other demographics of people who just aren't even represented in dolls at all. This just reminds me of American Girl dolls with those dolls that like they're supposed to fit you, but if you're like of mixed descent, you don't exist. Yeah. But like going back to like blackness, it's just I remember really having to like reconcile the fact that like no, my black dolls are just as pretty as the other dolls, so I will purposely have like black dolls and do them up nicely. Like I think I also had a Bratz doll. I had a Sasha head and I was like, she's beautiful, she's absolutely beautiful, just like me. I'm gonna do the kind of hairstyles I do to her. And like for me, I have always kept my natural hair, so I have like, I don't know what they're called in English, but they're like these like sphere, like they're not ponytail holders, but they have like little like plastic balls on them, and like they're like baubles that you put in your hair. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they're just a ponytail holder.
It's just a ponytail holder. I only call it in French a boule de tête. And so I would put, boule de tête, even though her hair was like bone straight, because we can't have everything. But I would put, those type of things. I put colored rubber bands. I didn't know how to bead, but if I did, I would have put beads in her hair because I wanted a doll that reflected what I think is beautiful and that what everyone should think is beautiful, not just like the cookie cutter, flat ironed, like light skin. Like I wanted a beautiful black doll. And I love the fact that as we got older, more and more black dolls are coming out. I think now they have dolls who actually have like coily hair. Like I would have killed for a doll like that. Killed!
Yeah, but I love those dolls where it reflects the 4C texture. Especially for me growing up, and just like I again love the Barbie dolls, and the skin tone was like coming up like right up because like I said I had Sasha, but Sasha's hair was always like a flowy, just similar to like Chloe and Jade's, and you know like it's fun and everything, but then you were like, oh, she doesn't have the same type of hair texture I does. But then when there are other doll lines, even outside of the Barbie and Mattel love it all, but there's more dolls like, oh, it actually represents the hair, so I'm putting up in the ponytail, I'm doing this. There's even dolls where people can practice on like braiding their own hair and stuff. So
yeah,
I think it's like really cool. I know for me, and even going back to the Black Barbie documentary that I was watching, I was like, wow, it's very essential. It was very cool just seeing all of this like happen, because like I said, for Barbie they did not count the Black Barbie doll line, which is like Christy. They didn't count her as officially as a Barbie. There was even like a Shanty doll as well, where it was like high in like black luxury and stuff. So those dolls were very important to me to see like the representation there. I think that's why in my mind it's more embedded of the fashion dolls that I had. The look that I wanted to do and like who I wanted to be when like growing up and like the fashion for it. I think I have a sprinkle of Raven from That's So Raven and Bratz just like in my way of style that I want to do and stuff. So I think that's why I think fashion dolls are very like essential for any kid. Just in general.
If you are not black, you should also be playing with black dolls. I feel like there's a weird stigma of like only sticking to dolls that look like you. And it's like, we had to play with dolls that didn't look like us. Maybe that's what made a lot of people a little bit more empathetic. I love when I see people who just let their kids pick whatever doll they want. And if that's the black doll or that's the Asian doll, go for it. Because at the end of the day, these are all just little representations of humans, and we can all be as fashion forward as we want. We can go on these little adventures. Like, I want to see a world where no doll is seen as better than the other based off of their skin color. It's so silly. I feel so silly talking about this because it's like doll racism. But still, it's not silly, but it's like...
I'm a firm believer in everything circles back to race.
Yeah.
Even the dolls. Again, especially watching after that documentary and seeing how they did the experiment, because that wasn't the only thing that they used for dolls. Like, because then there's the eye test where someone had like the dolls were specifically also used in the eye test. Like one, they separated like kids, and then they later on they separated adults. Like one had the blue eyes and one had the brown eyes, and separation of that. But basically, dolls have always been cornered of just like society's like norm and like beauty and stuff. So
yeah, beauty standards.
Exactly. So at the time when they was marketing mostly towards the white dolls, it was a huge thing. When the black doll came out, and then when the other races came out, it became like a big, like, wow, representation there. But then also you had to know, like, well, why does this white doll have, like, these are sexy and this black doll, like, doesn't? So, and I think today we're going more and more into just showing the representation of everyone. Because right now there's even plus-size dolls. There's even dolls with, like, disabilities.
Yes, and we love to see it.
Exactly. And then there's dolls with just, like maybe, like, little freckles. There's like, different types of
imperfections. Not alopecia. Vitiligo. I've seen vitiligo dolls as well.
Yes. So I was like, that's, like, been a huge thing. And especially for someone for me who has a birthmark on my face, seeing that, like, that being represented and, like, that whole aspect is just, like, beautiful. So I don't think it's a silly thing to be cautious of, like, like, okay, this racism, like, in the dolls and how they're marketed. Because it always leads back to that. Because even today, i.e. Sanrio and Sasha, like, it goes back all to it.
How dare you? I just can't get over it, because it's like, because at first, oh man, like, Sanrio has a history of racism. So when that happened, at first people were like, Sanrio at it again. But then MGA came out and were like, no, this was our decision. And I was like, oh, so you're fucking playing in my face.
Yeah.
I was so irate. I wasn't even planning on buying the dolls, but I was just irate.
Yeah, hot take. I think it was Sanrio's decision, but then MGA had to be like, oh no, it was all us. No, I think they taking the fall, because that don't make any sense.
Yeah, because it's like, why would you leave out one of the core four? And also, why are Yasmin's eyes blue all of a sudden?
Why are Yasmin's blue all of a sudden?
She's fully Latina. Like, not that they don't exist, but I'm like, historically, she's never had blue eyes.
No, it was always either like almond or like a hazel or maybe like even like a greenish tone in there. But I was like, no, never this. Hey, yeah. So even back and forth, because even today they still mess up like dolls and how it should be. And I think now because adults are like, they don't play that shit, it's like they're like, no, you are going to abide by this doll in all of its likeness and stuff. That's why I even feel like today, if there was a Bratz movie being made, we would not play, because we do not play by them girls. So.
I feel like that movie would be rooted in culture. I think we would see a little bit more of, I don't know how to say it, a more street style, a more urban, a more urban, like, I think we would get a bit more black culture in there, which I feel like is necessary, especially since a lot of people tend to think of Bratz as more black. But I want to see it. I want to see more of that culture. I want to see if they if they do reboot the movie in some way, shape, or form. I want to see how they're gonna take us on this journey, this diverse journey.
I agree.
Yeah, and Sanrio Bratz, you better run me my Sasha doll. I'm just glad that she looks the best out of the four of them. That is fully my opinion, but am I wrong?
Not at all, because she fully slays. I did have one question for you. Now, speaking of dolls, if you could life-size any type of doll, what would you pick? Giving clarity, like, Life Size is a movie with Lindsay Lohan and Tyra Banks, and in that movie, her doll comes to life.
If I were to hang out with any doll, so for clarifying, is it just like any franchise or any doll within a franchise? Like, if I pick Bratz, do I need to pick like specifically Sasha, or do you mean just like what doll universe I want them to be real?
I think just any doll in the franchise, the first one.
So a specific one doll? What's a doll that I thought was really cool growing up? Oh my god, do you have one? I don't have one right off the top of my head.
I again want to hang with Sasha. I always think her stuff was really cool. I wanted to also be with the Polly Pockets gang. I don't know if you used to do it, but I at least used to chew on her little shoe and be like, nom, nom, nom.
Yeah, I've heard people say that that's forbidden candy. I was one of those kids who was a little too cautious, so I was like, I'm gonna swallow this. I'm not gonna put this in my mouth. But I remember people would eat them.
Yes.
Also,
not eat them, just taste them.
Just taste them. They didn't swallow them. That actually also reminds me, Polly Pockets were so interesting because they had the little rubber clothes instead of like the usual cotton stuff. Like you had to stretch it onto them.
Yep.
That was so fun. Dang, I'm having a really hard time.
Would you want to hang out with the Bratz folks or Barbie?
Yeah, but it feels like a cop-out. You know what? I'm gonna life-size the Bratz Sanrio doll because I've been really emotional about it this entire episode.
Yeah.
I want her because, honestly, I don't know if I said this, but I'm a Sanrio girl. I love trinkets. I love little cute characters. So me and her, we would be the best of friends. We would be thicker than thieves. We would be tight, yo. I would take her to my favorite Japanese stores to get, like, fucking Hello Kitty shit. I would even introduce her to Miffy if I had time, maybe even Chikawa. Like, I'm really into this shit, so I would have her be my buddy so I could expand her world. We would get past the first tier of Hello Kitty and even make our way to, like, the obscure characters. Like, Big Problems, I think, is one. He's like an alligator. I would get her into his fandom. Like, we would be the best of friends. Yeah, actually, this was really easy. Sasha, as the Sanrio Sasha, me and her, we need to have real life adventures.
Period. Speak your truth. I love that girl, and yeah, I think honestly, I think this just wraps it up and say that Bratz is the number one dog, at least to me. Barbie, you know, she got her. I give it her tens always, but I personally was a Bratz girl.
Also was a Bratz girl. They were just so much cooler, and the fact that, like, conservative moms didn't like them either, even better.
Even better.
Why are you guys like that? They're like,
come on now,
these dolls are too sexy. Hello?
Like, what?
That's a teen girl.
Hello? Like, why are you sexualizing her?
Just because she's got big lips? Hello?
Let's wake that up. Let's wake it up. Right.
Run that by me one more time.
Exactly. Slowly. But no, I had so much fun talking about these dolls in our childhood and just like what did they mean to us. This was probably one of my favorites. Again, I enjoy, like, my fondest memories is always like playing with a doll and playing with friends and just doing the fashion takes of it. So much so that I used to even play with paper dolls, like just cut out some dolls and stuff and then just like make their little clothes. It was very essential.
You were creative.
I love those dolls.
You still are, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, that wraps our episode. Thank you guys so much for listening and remembering with us. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Produced by Nostalgia. Follow us on all social media platforms at Produced by Nostalgia Pod for episode updates, nostalgia news and additional content, and more. Until next time, I have been your host, MK, and I'm with the lovely
Jedi.
Period. Okay, well, you guys have a great time, and remember, always have a passion for fashion.
Bye!